Right, next thing we got is public comments. We got anybody like to? Tyler, you first.
Go ahead, yeah, whoever.
You don't want to raise your hand.
I reckon I'm first. I got two or three things.
I reckon be good.
There you go, it's me. Y'all love it, I know. The first thing is, the $6,800 special audit that y'all just paid for on the Jeff Davis County Sheriff's Department. Y'all requested to be done. Y'all received the final report on that Monday, July 9th, last week. What is y'all's plan of action on the findings of the deputies that were falsifying time records in that report?
If I may read this statement.
Okay.
At this time, the audit of the records of the Sheriff's Department has not been completed. On July the 9th, 2012, Mr. Kendall Davis did send a letter to the commissioners concerning the audit, but more information needs to be gathered and reviewed on this matter before any further information will be released. This is still an ongoing investigation, and the fact that some citizens are using a portion of the letter to allege any criminal wrongdoing on the part of anyone employed by the Sheriff's Department is totally irresponsible and can be seen as nothing more than a means of attempting to influence the upcoming election. A public statement about the factual findings of the audit will be released once all the information has been gathered and reviewed and the investigation has been completed. Now that's our statement.
And who wrote that?
We got it today
From who?
from our legal counsel.
You wrote it? I guess you got a copy of the letter also?
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all,
I did not.
I hadn't seen the letter. Didn't know anything about the letter till the talk come out on the street. And so I hadn't discussed it and hadn't seen it. And I figured that's what it might have been where it says in closed session, discuss personnel. Don't know, but I hadn't. Have you seen it, Reginald had? So it happened, they ain't been a meeting and we have not. I understood when we had the thing done that it was coming, they was gonna do it, come back to us, and then.
They were going to do it before, and the letter that was received by y'all's office on July the 9th was the findings of that report. And Mr. Williams says it was not finished. I guess Carla wrote the letter. But in conclusion, in the letter, it says the county needs to use whatever means necessary to recover the monies from the 3 deputies. So that's pretty much like the final report to me, sounds like. Not just an incomplete report.
Which sounds a lot to me.
On May the 9th, it was published in the Jeff Davis Ledger on front page, Commission Council's meeting. Among the items on the agenda for Tuesday's meeting was to discuss the findings from a special audit conducted by the Office of the County's Auditor, Kendall Davis. But the agenda for next Wednesday meeting calls only for an executive session closed meeting to discuss personnel and possible litigation. My question is, apparently y'all had some sort of report from Kendall Davis on May the 9th. Actually May the 8th, because the meeting was called for May the 8th. It was a recalled meeting. And that meeting was rescheduled.
And answering your question, trying to, we've had several preliminary reports and progress reports. But that's what we've got in hand today is the closest thing we've had as far as the final report.
Well, let me ask you
I'm
this.
sure that it's final, but it looks like it is.
Our ex-911 director is here in this meeting room, and I don't mind her hearing what I've got to say. When there was an allegation of what she done, we didn't hire an auditor to cost us taxpayers $6,000. Did I hear you say $6,800?
$6,800 is what this, that's what this man told me today to go.
They called the GBI, whom the taxpayers pay anyway. So why didn't we contact the GBI and let them do our legwork for us besides letting the taxpayers pay this bill? That's my question. I'm shocked. I am shocked that it's cost us $6,800.
We hired that auditor on the recommendation of the district attorney.
Why didn't the district attorney turn it over to the GBI?
Well, I heard what she told us. Her office is not equipped with auditors and people that can read the audit and do what's done. We didn't need to do it because this one department against another. And she said the GBI really wasn't equipped to come in here and do an in-depth investigation and audit. They recommended that we go outside.
Well, the FBI is for that.
What?
The FBI is for, fraud.
It's not a federal matter. It's either GBI is the highest we could go. But she said they didn't have the help, the kind of help they needed to come in here. You know, they investigate more criminal type stuff. We did it on her recommendation. We didn't realize how much it was gonna cost at the time. We might have thought about it a little more.
Okay, on April the 18th, here's the newspaper. It states, Commissioners want Sheriff's Department and E911 audited. And in here I have underlined that the Commissioners said they felt it was in the best interest of Jeff Davis County to review the financial records of the Sheriff's Department and the E911 Center. And that goes to show that Sheriff Dees says, I've been aware the Commissioners had some concerns about the time records. Why didn't he request it? If he was so concerned about what one employee done, and we got 3 employees, or however many they were accused, and I say accused, why didn't he have it done like he did on the 911 director?
We the one that had it done on the 911 director.
And it says here, the last paragraph, last sentence, once the special audit has been completed, the Board of Commissioners will release another statement regarding the findings of this special audit. Now there again, I remind you, this was April the 18th, this was May the 9th. Are we trying to brush it under the rug?
No ma'am, it's in the hands of the district attorney.
I would like to make one more comment on that. When I met with you, Mr. Cleveland, and everything, talked to you about the letter, and you have made comments that you did not want it released to the public until it could be watered down some. So for the names, your comment was for it to be watered down, not to release the names of the individuals.
In that report, it had individual names.
That's exactly right.
When we got it, the prior report had the same thing. Our discussion, he told me, says, I'm going, in my report to the district attorney, I won't provide the names and the copies that I provide to the commissioner. I'm not, because, you know, nothing's been proven, and you don't want to incriminate people if, you know, you hadn't got something. If you know you hadn't got it, somebody else's period, you know, responsibility. But when it come, it had those names in it. I talked with the district attorney, one of our conversations, and she said, I wish he had left that out because it's not at the stage. Right now, those people, we don't know whether they're guilty or whether they're not guilty. And we don't want to out there be throwing names around.
But y'all pay Kendall Davis $6,800 to do an audit to tell you if those individuals were indeed falsifying timesheets and what they were doing. You know, and all the past years we went through this with SPLOS, with this jail fund, with all this. All I hear is Kendall Davis. We go on his, you know, Kendall Davis is our auditor. He does everything right. We go by his recommendations. Now, why is this situation going to be any different?
And I'd like to add,
We're not saying.
One at a time, please.
Okay, go ahead.
We're not saying that we're not going by Kendall Davis's recommendation. At this stage, we don't know. We've turned this whole package over to the district attorney. She's the one that calls that shot. And if she finds enough to pursue, I'm sure she'll pursue it. And she'll respond to it one way or the other in her time. And this is not her only area of responsibility. She's got 5 counties. Most of them bigger than this one. So it's out of our hands. And I don't really think it's still being under investigation. I don't think we've really need to be discussed with you or anybody else at this stage.
Any more questions on that? Do you want to add something on that?
Yes, I do. we've paid $6,800 of our taxpayers' money. And I'd just like to